As time goes on, the line between the iPad and an actual computer is getting smaller and smaller. Apple has continued to make iPad OS feel more like an actual desktop OS. They've added an actual file system, they brought in side-by-side views, they even let you connect a mouse and a keyboard. And it seems like this year, Apple is ready to go all the way. They announced the all-new super powerful M1 chip is coming to the iPad. It's the same chip that's inside the new MacBook Air, the MacBook Pro, and the Mac Mini. But here's the thing. For me personally, these new iPad Pros still can't replace an actual computer. And here's why. Hey guys, Jonathan with Retethered here, and Apple has finally brought us an all-new iPad Pro, not from the outside, but from the inside. They've slapped the M1 chip inside, making it the most powerful iPad ever. It's probably the most powerful tablet ever, to be honest. The 8-core CPU and GPU delivers up to 50% faster performance and 40% faster graphics performance. There's two configurations like always, an 11-inch and a 12.9-inch, and they both have a 12-megapixel wide-angle camera and a 10-megapixel ultra-wide camera sensor on the back. Now, I'm not a real fan of taking video and pictures with an iPad, but if that's your sort of thing, you might like the cameras on here. And on the back, there's also a LiDAR sensor. Yes, LiDAR is sticking around. The single USB Type-C port is now Thunderbolt, which is great for external displays and faster transfer speeds and more dongles. And there's also 5G available on both of the iPads. The original Magic Keyboard will continue to work with them, and Apple even announced a white version of the Magic Keyboard, so now you have two color options when it comes to the Magic Keyboard, white or black. Now, when it comes to the two versions of the iPad, other than the size of the display, there's some other big differences as well. Do you remember the Pro Display XDR that Apple sells for $5,000? It's designed more for professionals, but it looks like Apple's getting that same technology and dropping it into the iPad Pro 12.9-inch. Apple is calling it the Liquid Retina XDR display. It's powered by over 10,000 mini LEDs and has a peak brightness of 1600 nits. Just to give you some perspective, the 11-inch iPad Pro that was just announced as well, it has Apple's Liquid Retina display, which is capable of 600 nits of peak brightness. So wrap your head around that. The iPad Pro 12.9-inch has a peak brightness of 1600 nits, which is more than double the iPad Pro 11-inch. This is gonna be a really bright display. Like, you can go outside in direct sunlight and the sun will have to compete with this display. This display will also have a 1,000,000:1 contrast ratio, and both will have ProMotion. This is just gonna be the best display on any tablet, period, in my opinion at least. Pricing wise, the 11-inch will start at $799, and you can get up to a crazy 2 terabytes of storage. And on the 12.9-inch, it will start at $1,099, and you can also get up to 2 terabytes of storage, and you can get 16 gigs of RAM on the 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte versions of the iPad Pro. Otherwise, it's 8 gigs for the other versions. Now, that means the 12.9-inch iPad Pro can go up to $2,399. Now, that's with 2 terabytes of storage, 16 gigs of RAM, cellular connectivity, but still, that's not cheap. $2,400 for an iPad. So for that price, it seems like Apple is letting us know that this can replace your computer, right? That's what they're telling us. $2,400, that's the price of a decently spec'd MacBook Pro. And performance-wise, I agree. It has the M1 chip in it. The M1 chip is amazing. It's super quick. It performs great. But the problem is, for me personally, it still can't. And the reason for that is because it's still running iPad OS, which means it can't run those desktop applications that I use to create content. Those applications are still not available. There was no mention of Final Cut coming to the iPad Pro, no Premiere Pro for the Premiere users. All we had at the announcement was Lightroom and LumaFusion. And those are great applications, but for me personally, they still are not a full-fledged replacement. I prefer Final Cut, and I prefer the full version of Photoshop. And I wish Apple would actually give us those applications on the iPad Pro. Now, here's what's even more confusing to me. Let's say you are a LumaFusion fan. Let's say you use all the applications that you can find on iPad OS. There's pretty much nothing else you need. You can do everything that you want to do on an iPad. Then the question is, do you really need an M1 iPad Pro? I mean, think about it. The other iPads are still more than capable of running all those applications. The iPad Air can easily edit on LumaFusion without any issues, and you can save some money. So who is this M1 iPad Pro for? And that's the thing for me. I want to be able to ditch my laptop. I want to be able to just use my iPad for everything. And when I saw that the M1 chip was going to be inside, it seemed like that was going to happen, but we're still not getting it. Apple still doesn't want to give us all those desktop style applications on our iPad, even though it has the same chip inside. It has the same chipset as the MacBook Air, the MacBook Pro, the Mac Mini, and those devices can use all those applications. So it just doesn't make sense to me. The only thing I can think of is that Apple doesn't want to destroy the Mac line. If Apple were to let you run all those applications on the iPad Pro, they're pretty much destroying the MacBook line. I think everybody would choose to just buy an iPad Pro, right? At least I know I would. And slowly the MacBook and then the iMac would start to fade away, and so would part of Apple's revenue. But there's still hope. WWDC is coming, and hopefully we see some more iPad OS improvements, including some new software. I'm hoping Final Cut finally comes to the iPad Pro or iPad OS, hopefully. But what do you guys think? Am I crazy when I say that the iPad Pro still can't replace a computer? Let me know with a comment down below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos just like this one on tech news, reviews, and opinions, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell icon so you don't miss any of our new videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.